Good morning, everyone. Before we start, on Saturday, June 6th, the board was informed that former Crow Wing County Commissioner Rachel Nystrom had passed away. So please keep her husband Bob and family in our thoughts as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, it's open forum. Mr. Olson, if you would like to speak. You give us your name and address.
You got it. Mark Olson, 12336 Thompson Road, Brainerd, Minnesota. I just wanted to come up here and publicly acknowledge a few good items that happened. Last night, if you aren't aware, the public I'm sure is not aware, but the Brainerd City Council passed a resolution agreeing with the county, Eric Klang, and the sheriff's agreement with ICE and immigration. And Mr. Chesak brought this resolution forward, and it passed 5-0. So I wanted to come up here and give him kudos and give you kudos and thank the sheriff department and Eric Klang for standing up for law enforcement. I know people get up here and complain, but we need to give kudos to people who are doing what's right. And I think the county has done what's right here and the city council, and they've come together. The other thing is it's budget season, and you guys got a tough job. Budget's coming up. The state has really cut things, and they put it all on the county. You're going to have to be very diligent, and I'll be watching it with a watchful eye, because there's things in there that can be easily cut that we'd like to do, but we just don't have the money, and we can't keep raising taxes on the people. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Mark. I have no other individuals interested in speaking to open forum, so we'll move on to the review and approve of the minutes. Motion by Commissioner Franzine.
Second
By Commissioner Lubke. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Number 4, review and approve the agenda. Any
Mr. Chair, I
changes?
have no changes this morning.
All right, no changes. I would look for a motion to approve today's agenda. So moved. Commissioner Lee makes a motion to approve. Commissioner Franzine seconds that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Number 5, our consent agenda. Commissioner Franzine makes a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Lee. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. All right, we're on to number 6. Northland Arboretum. Trevor, Dan, I don't know if you're going to speak also, but you're welcome to come up.
Okay. All right. Want name and everything?
Yes.
Trevor Pumnia, 623 Willow Street, Brainerd, Minnesota. And I'm full of good news today. All right. So, we've been seeking regional designation for 732 days. Who's counting? I started this process in 2023. Brian Pike started it in 2017. So he's been on this project for 8 years. On June 26th of just last month, we scored a 429 on the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trail Commission evaluation portion of the process, and we are the second park in Crow Wing County to receive regional designation. So that happened 2 weeks ago. At this time, we are asking for this resolution, and if you'd like me to go through it line by line, I could do that, but if you're familiar with something like this, it's a pretty standard DNR contract that allows Crow Wing County to apply for funding. So, are there any questions on the resolution?
Questions?
So when you're
Commissioner Lee?
talking, when you're talking about applying for funding, you're saying that we're applying on your behalf?
I would be applying on the Crow Wing County's behalf. I would be a representative of the county. This is a county application. The Greater Minnesota funding goes through the county, and so this is Crow Wing County, Northland Arboretum.
Okay.
So Trevor, are these grants, is there a share portion to it where the county would have to pay a portion of it, like a 10%?
On the criteria for the funding application, you score higher, the more kind of tooth you have in the game type of deal. So if you were to put in, say on an acquisition deal, if you put in 5%, we would get an additional 3 points. Up to 25%, we would score up to 15 points higher. So at this time, I'm not making any funding requests. We're going to try our application, and we hope that we're competitive enough to earn the funds through an application without match.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, this is the designation, the regional park designation process that we went through that Trevor was mentioning took 700 and some odd days, whatever it was. That was the process that allowed the Arboretum to now go for these funding dollars. So the first step of the process was to get the designation as a regional park, to create the master plan, which they have done both of those things. Now that gives them the opportunity to apply for these funds. Once they've received that regional park designation, they can apply for these funds year after year after year if they don't receive the funding in a particular grant year. So if they're not successful in this round of funding, they can always try again. But at this time, your portion of what was needed to be done was to approve that regional park designation. To approve that piece, now the Arboretum is going for the funding aspect of it. No dollars are being requested from the county at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would look for a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Franzine,
Second by Lupke.
second by Commissioner Lubke. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes.
Thank you so
Trevor.
much. We'd like to invite you to our bike park soft opening this weekend. It's Saturday if you'd like to make it out.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the work. Move on to Land Services. Mr. Pence.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. We have 6 items for your consideration this morning. The first request is for a land use map amendment for the following parcels: 75130521, 75130524, and 75130526, located in Section 13 of Long Lake Township. The request is to amend the land use map from agriculture forested to rural residential 5. I just want to point out that there was an error in the request for board action this morning that also listed parcel 75130525. That parcel is completely zoned shoreland and is not proposed to be changed to a rural residential 5 status. Also wanted to just clarify that PID 75130527 is owned by a family member but is not part of the plat that we'll be discussing, which is the next item on our agenda. Amber's not here. Gosh, I had it all set up. Look at that. Jesse, could you go to page 59? There we go. Perfect. So this is the parcels in question would be 24 and 26 and 21 to change the zoning in this area here from the ag forested to the R5. As a reminder, the blue band you see here is the shoreland district for South Long. The area you see here in pink would be a commercial, and this would be a waterfront commercial. The yellow is 2.5 acre zoning, the brown is 1 acre zoning, and then the blue over here is 5, and then the green that you see here is the agricultural forested zoning. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment held a public hearing on June 18th and made a unanimous recommendation to the board to approve the land use map amendment for parcels 75130521, 75130524, and 75130526 from ag forested to rural residential 5. The PCBOA also developed a finding of fact for the board's consideration on pages 65 and 66 of your packet. And based on the application submitted, staff packet, public comments, and the finding of fact, it is recommended to approve the land use map amendment as submitted. Staff have reviewed the file and concur with the recommendation from the Planning Commission. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? All right, I would look for a motion to approve the land use map amendment.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Lee makes a motion to approve.
I will second it.
Second by Commissioner Lubke. Any discussion, concerns? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Move on to 7.2.
All right, thank you.
Preliminary plat.
The next request is for the preliminary plat of Engholm Acres for the following parcel numbers of 75130521, 75130524, 75130525, and 75130526. This is located in Section 13 of Long Lake Township. The request today is to approve a conventional design preliminary plat consisting of 12 residential lots and 1 outlot on South Long Lake. As a reminder, as we mentioned with the previous application, that PID 75130527 is owned by a family member but not part of the plat. If you go to the map on page 71, you'll see the layout of the plat. You have to zoom out just a little bit, maybe. So here's the layout of the lots. This is Narrow Lane Road up here. This is the road coming in. You can see here you've got Lot 1 and 2 through 8 here, and then you have, let's see.
I think 9 is way up in the right-hand side.
Right, there's 9, 10, 11, and then Lot 12. And so these lots are much larger than the minimum requirements are for what would be required to meet the lot size requirements for this plat. And so this really is it's a nice layout, and we have larger lots, which is something that we always encourage when folks are developing. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on this on June 18th and made a unanimous recommendation to the board to approve the preliminary plat of Engholm Acres. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment developed the finding of fact that you'll find on page 83 and 84 of your packet. And then based on the application submitted, staff packet, public comments, and the finding of fact, it is recommended to approve the preliminary plat of Engholm Acres. Staff have reviewed the file and concur with the recommendation of the PCBOA. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions regarding this? Look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Lee,
And I will second that.
second by Commissioner Lubke. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. The next request is for the preliminary plat of Pelican Valley. This is for parcel number 77060524. This is located in Section 6 of Mission Township. The request is to approve a conventional design preliminary plat consisting of 6 commercial lots. If we can jump to the, yeah, that's perfect. Let's get the right one here. So this is County Road 3 here. Can we go down to page 90? Let's go on to the next one, 91. There we go. So this is kind of give you an idea of what the zoning is in the area and the proximity. So to the north here, you've got City of Cross Lake. Over this way, you've got the city of, you got Breezy Point over here. And then the area that you see in yellow is a 2.5 acre zoning on both sides. This is shoreland for this, for Pelican Brook, the stream coming through. And then this is the shoreland zoning for this lake to the north. This is where they are proposing to do the plat. And it's meeting all the commercial requirements of the ordinance. We can go back to that plat if you would. Yeah, perfect. So this plat meets all the requirements of the ordinance as required. The Planning Commission did hold a public hearing on June 18th and made a unanimous recommendation to the board to approve the preliminary plat of Pelican Valley. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment did develop a finding of fact found on page 105, 106 of your packet for your consideration as well. And based on the application submitted, staff packet, public comments, and the finding of fact is recommended to approve the preliminary plat of Pelican Valley. Staff have reviewed the file and concur with the recommendation from the Planning Commission Board of Adjustment. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
I have none.
Looking for a motion to approve the preliminary plat of Pelican Valley per findings of fact discussed on 6/18/2025.
So moved. Lupke.
Motion by Commissioner Lupke,
I'll second it.
second by Commissioner Lee. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Move on to number 7.4.
Thank you. The next request is for a land use map amendment for parcel number 99290502. This is located in section 29 of the First Assessment District, and the request is to amend the land use map from rural residential 1 to commercial. Perfect. This really is kind of an interesting situation. If you look on the map to the north, this is the parcel in question here. So everything that you see in the brown is the RR1. Everything you see in the blue would be the Shoreland District. Everything that you see here in the pink would be the commercial zoning. And then directly south is the city of Brainerd. And so what I did was I actually reached out to the city of Brainerd and got some information about the zoning of adjacent parcels. So if we could go down to the next, yep, perfect. So so this is the subject property that would like to be changed from RR1 to the commercial zoning. To the south is called Rural Living 2, and the definition of Rural Living 2 is areas of the city where urban services are not presently available. Land zoned RL2 are served by private well and septic, and there are no plans for future expansion of urban services to the property. So that's the RL2. And then when you look at this parcel here, this zone garden living, and the garden living district is intended for areas where urban services are available, and lots and parcels are served by parcel water, or by public water, sewer, and stormwater, and public infrastructure. And it's generally developed with single-family buildings and accessory uses. And then you've got this here is general commercial, as well as this parcel here is general commercial. And general commercial is to allow more intensive commercial uses that require the primary street network for access and circulation. And just as a point of reference, this is the Wise Road here, this is Beaver Dam coming this direction, and so that this is on one of our more major county roads as far as the infrastructure that it could support. Let me go back to here. And then everything to the north of this parcel, if you go back up to that map, to the next map up again. Yep, just a reminder then, so that everything to the north of this is going to be rural residential 1 or shoreline district. And so again, this is the rural living 2, where there's no expectation for there to be city services. And then the one across the way would be garden living, where there will be or could be city services, with a couple of their general commercial zoning for the city. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment did hold a public hearing on June 18th, and they made a unanimous recommendation to the board to approve the land use map amendment for parcel 99290502 from rural residential 1 to commercial. The Planning Commission Board of Adjustment did develop a finding of fact found on pages 116 to 117 for your consideration as well. Based on the application submitted, staff packet, public comments, and the finding of fact, it is recommended to approve the land use map amendment as submitted. Staff have reviewed the file and concur with the recommendation from the Planning Commission. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
One question.
Commissioner Lee.
So if this is a land use amendment, that would mean this is a conditional use?
No, what this would, Mr. Chair and Commissioner Lee, what this would do would be to change the zoning on this parcel here from from the RR1 that you see right now, it would have this color. It would be changed to that pink.
Okay.
It would be changed to the pink zone. So it's not a conditional use permit. It would be it's actually an amendment to the land use map or to the zoning map.
Okay, and it's associated with the, or will be associated with the business that's across the street from it?
No, no, it won't be. No, it's separate. It's the proposal is somebody wants to be able to put up they're an electrician and they want to be able to put buildings up there and have their business on the property.
Okay. That's all I've got.
Other questions?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Franzine makes a motion to approve the land use map amendment.
I'll second that
Second
motion.
by Commissioner Lubke. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
7.5 to the Waitala.
The next request is for a land use map amendment for parcel number 90050511. This is located in section 6 of St. Matthias Township. The request is to amend the land use map from agricultural forested to rural residential 5. Perfect. So this would be the location of where the parcel in question. If we could go down to the next, go on the zoning map. Super, thank you. So the area here that doesn't have any coloring on it, this would be in Crowing Township. So we don't, they have their own zoning up there. The parcel in question is right here. The area that you see like these that don't have any on it, those are tax forfeit parcels. The area that's in blue that you see here is a rural residential 5. This little yellow is a 2.5 acre. And then the green here is the agricultural forested, and they want to basically amend the zoning map to allow this to be 5-acre zoning as well. St. Matthias Township did give us comments on this as well, and they did attend the public hearing, and they did not support the RR5, but would support RR10. It's important to remember that when we did our comp plan update last year, this would have been R10 in this area, and then part of that comp plan amendment included changing that from R10 down to R5 in this area here. So that's that was a recent change that was done in the parcel as we did the comp plan update last summer. The Planning Commission and Board of Adjustment held a public hearing on June 18th and made a unanimous recommendation to the board to approve the land use map amendment for parcel 900500511 from agricultural forested to rural residential 5. The Planning Commission developed the finding of fact found on pages 127 to 128 of your packet for your consideration. And based on the application submitted, staff packet, public comments, and the finding of fact, as recommended to approve the land use map amendment as submitted. Staff have reviewed the file and concur with the recommendation from the Planning Commission. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner
So,
Goring.
I'll be voting no on this, and it's not for the reason that I think it's the wrong decision. It's just out of respect for the St. Matthias Township supervisors. Apparently, they think that they'd rather have 10 acres. But for the next 3.5 years, I'm going to be telling all of my townships, not to bully them, but I will be telling them that if they do not want Crow Wing County to do their planning and zoning, they can certainly do their planning and zoning themselves if they don't agree with what we're doing here. And so I think, to me, this makes sense, but I will vote no, and it's for the only reason is because the St. Matthias Town Board wants it that way. So just letting you know that. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns? All right, would look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Lee makes a motion to approve.
I will second it.
Commissioner Lubke seconds the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor,
No.
same sign.
No.
That motion passes. Thank you. Move on to 7.6.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The last request today is for the final plat of Hunter Lake Acres. All requirements have been met for the final plat application and recommend approval as submitted. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions regarding this one? Then I would look for a motion to approve the final plat for the Hunter Lake Acres.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Lee,
Second.
second by Commissioner Franzine. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Thank you, Chris. That was 80% of our meeting right there.
There you go.
As usual. Administrative Services. Good morning, Jory.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Jory Danielson, Administrative Services Director. I'm here today to request your consideration of a renewed work initiation document agreement with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, specifically through their Wildlife Services Program. The USDA has approached us to reestablish a 5-year agreement that would authorize their personnel to conduct beaver, coyote, and wolf damage control operations, as well as wolf research on Crow Wing County property and rights-of-way. This includes both direct work for the county, such as beaver and dam removal, as well as access to county property for activities performed on behalf of other agencies and partners, including the Minnesota DNR, MnDOT, and Burlington Northern Santa Fe. This agreement does not involve any financial commitment from the county. It simply provides the USDA with the necessary permission to carry out wildlife management and research activities on county land when needed. The previous agreement expired in 2012, and the USDA is now working to reestablish similar agreements with counties across Minnesota. I've discussed this with Tom, Chris, and Gary in Land Services, Brian from the Highway Department, and Stephanie from the Attorney's Office, and there are no concerns from those departments. With that, I respectfully request your approval to authorize myself, the Administrative Services Director, to sign a 5-year work initiation document agreement with the USDA Wildlife Services on behalf of Crow Wing County. Thank you for your consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions, concerns?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, Commissioner Lee.
I'll be in support of this, but my question is, as you mentioned, beaver removal, has there been any discussion about wolf removal?
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Lee, it's a pretty open-ended agreement that if wolves are needed to be removed, this agreement would authorize them to enter county land. The work might not necessarily take place on county land. It could take place on private property. One of the things that the representative reached out to me and said that they do have wolves that are predators to livestock, and they may need to access county land for trapping or removal of that animal from that private property on county land. So it would be that consideration also.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is an issue in my district. We've got livestock issues, or livestock that are having wolf issues, I should say, so, good.
Any other questions? I would then look for a motion to approve.
I will make that motion.
Commissioner Lee happily makes that motion to approve.
And I will happily second it.
Commissioner Lubke seconds that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jory. County Sheriff.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
It's obviously a busy summer right now, a lot of things going on, and we got a lot of things in the hopper right now that we're just trying to bring to fruition, and some signatures coming down the pipe for you guys as well on a bunch of different things. So we're doing our part also to control the budget and to make sure that we're doing our good fiscal responsibility in our for this next year's budget too. We've had a lot of different kinds of crimes that have been happening, and we've been very successful at bringing those to completion and identifying those that have committed crimes against us. And our investigative division has been nothing but stellar. If you saw our Facebook posting, you saw there was a person of interest on there. This person is. What we know has taken over $50,000 out of different banks using a passport, and I think it's a little bit more complex than it appears. And I'm putting our guys on the line or in the spotlight here saying that I'm hopeful that we will try to identify who this person is and bring that person to justice as well. So with that, I would certainly take any questions that you guys had. We had a successful 4th, a lot of different activities, and it went down pretty much without a hitch. So,
Questions for the sheriff?
Just one question.
Shirley?
You mentioned the 4th. I know there was at least one ATV crash. Do you have anything else from this past weekend?
nothing other than that crash
Okay,
that we had. So,
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good weekend then.
It was
Given the traffic.
it was a great weekend. Yeah, really, really unusually successful weekend, other than that crash with the ATV.
Commissioner
Mr.
Lupke.
Chair, yeah.
And it was busy.
Did we have any challenges on the lakes at all with boating while intoxicated or anything like that? Do you know if there was any pickups?
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there?
we had a couple of underage drinking that we cited for minor consumptions and had to bring their $250,000 boat back to their dad's house. Our guys barely knew how to run it, so we'll need to get one of those so we can.
Oh, yeah,
very fluent on that.
I'm sure that'll go fine in the budget, yes.
Complete glass cockpit. It was pretty impressive. And then some other kids that they didn't know how to turn on the lights on the boat. And it's a complicated boat. It's not just some toggle switch you flip up.
Well, wasn't July 1st the date that they were looking at, you have to be of a certain age or you have to have a
That's-
certain permit? Is
Yeah,
that-
that's correct. We didn't have any issues with that. I think people have done their due diligence and looked at that law. And it's that thing is so complicated. If you try to look at it and read it, it's, from this date forward, you got to have this, you have to have this license, and then after another year. I mean, it's just,
I
it's
think
kind of
some
silly.
lawyers put it together.
I think so too. Absolutely.
I caution you not to talk that way.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So,
All right. If there's nothing else, thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
County Attorney?
Can I talk now?
Yes.
I don't have anything for you today, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, but I certainly can answer any questions you have.
Questions for Don? All right. You're off the hook. Thank you very much. County Administrator?
Mr. Chair, ditto. We did not have a senior management team meeting yesterday, so I have nothing to report today, but we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for the Administrator? All right. I have no additional business. Commissioner Coring?
Mr. Chair, I know Tim probably, I don't know if you get bothered by me putting you on the spot, but obviously there's been a lot of road construction down in District 1, which is my district, and a pretty good amount of rain, and especially 144, that's kind of a low type of road. I'm just wondering if you got, because I do know, I get feedback that there is, some of my constituents watch this on YouTube, so I guess some constituent was giving an update on State Highway 25, and so I don't know where she's got her information from, but if you could just give a little update on how if 2 is complete, and then 144, I guess I'm just kind of curious because it's really wet.
Sure. Casatu is substantially complete, and we worked through a few resident issues that you brought forward, Commissioner Coring, but that is substantially complete. 144 currently is detoured right now. We are working on the grade raise through the swamp. For those familiar with it, very tough pavement conditions due to the close proximity of the swamp and the water. We're working on putting in the geogrid now to kind of create that separation and strength of that roadway. We'll be putting gravel on that shortly. The culverts are done. The plan is to put the gravel on and let it settle for a little bit and just let it heal for a little bit before we put the pavement on. So we're expecting pavement probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks as we finish up the grade raise and then finish out the road base before paving. So it'll be detoured until the gravel's on. We anticipate the potential of opening it up to traffic as we kind of let it settle.
Okay.
But that's where that's at.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
so can you just explain what a geogrid, or what that is? Is that kind of similar to what you put on 139 several years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
It creates
Can
some
you just explain that?
separation layers between some of those organics that are causing some of the problems and creates some strength and stability in that subgrade or the road base. And it helps with the longevity of the roadway. I mean, just in very simple terms.
That's all I got.
If there's nothing else, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Franzine to adjourn,
Second by Lupke.
second by Commissioner Lubke. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you very much